Hey everybody, this is Corey with Casual EDC, and today we're going to be taking a look at the North Arm Skaha 2. This knife is made in British Columbia, Canada by a father and son, and these are currently sitting at about a 18-month wait list to get one of these. You can get them in either G10 or carbon fiber. These are the solid carbon fiber handles, and G10 is going to be starting at $199. For that price, you are going to get a CNC milled blade with S35VN, and it's coming in at 3.3 inches from tip to handle, and this model with the carbon fiber is going to be 2.7 ounces, and you're looking at an overall length of 7.75 inches. Just to do a little bit of a size comparison here, something I think that is very similar in size is going to be your Benchmade bug out, and as always, the 84mm Victorinox Cadet. So as you can see, it's not a particularly large knife, but it's not a small knife either, coming in very close to the overall size of the bug out. With similar blade lengths and similar handle lengths, I think this is going to be the closest comparison that you're going to get to this knife overall if you've never had the chance to handle one. So, as I mentioned, this knife has solid carbon fiber handles, and it also features this CNC milled blade. And when they do this CNC milling pattern, that I hope you can see there on the blade, it's these lines that run all the way up and then trail off the end of the blade here. So they start straight and then they curve with the cutting edge, which is a neat little touch, and that milling is on both sides. And because of this milling, it's considered to have a semi-hollow grind, is the terminology that North Arm Knives uses on their website. It's coming in at a 30-degree inclusive edge, meaning that it's sharpened at 15 degrees per side, and it has a very thin blade, so it's going to slice very well and cut super easy through whatever it is that you need to be passing through. This has a liner lock, which is really just one small lock bar on the inside, as these handles are solid for whatever handle material you choose, and it has a wire pocket clip. This screw is also holding in the lock bar. Now, the thing that's most impressive about this knife is the action. This is running on bearings, and there are actually grooves in the blade of the knife for those bearings to run, which I believe is one of the reasons why this is so smooth. There's some nice jimping on the back, and it opens up so you can get a nice secure grip, and you can even choke up a little bit to this forward finger choil. Another reason that detent is so good and the action is so good is because it actually has a flat detent ball. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you this, but there's no ball sticking up in there. You can just see a small raised area, and that's what's acting as the detent ball. So the blade can drop past it super easy, and it just glides right over. It just falls shut under its own weight and deploys reliably every time. It's got an overall pretty simple and clean design. It's pretty straightforward on the drop point blade with a nice cutting edge with some straight parts to it and some belly. Flipper tab. It's a little bit, juts out a little bit, but not too much. And a liner lock with pretty good lock bar access. With this cutout here, there's plenty of room to go in from the side, or if you just want to come down on top, it's pretty easy to get into that as well. This has perfect centering and has the spacers here, so it helps reduce on the weight. As I mentioned, this is 2.7 ounces, and the G10 version only brings it up to 3 ounces, so not much of a difference there. I mentioned about how thin it gets behind the edge. The thinness of the blade stock is also something to highlight, with a 0.1 inch thick blade. And I think that's all the little technical specs I have about it. Just some overall thoughts for you here now. This is a knife that this is on loan from a buddy of mine. I was on the wait list for one of these, and I'm not going to be picking one up. Just a few little nitpicks, and I own some other knives that are a little bit too similar for me to justify spending the money. Especially this carbon fiber one, I don't think is worth the price increase. So my little nitpicks with this are going to be with this lanyard hole. Number one, it's right where my pinky lands, and I'm not much of a lanyard fan anyway, but it takes a very sleek and simple design and it puts a big hole literally right through it. So I'm not a big fan of that, and it happens to be right where my pinky lands when I hold this knife. So if I ever wanted to use a lanyard, it would definitely get in the way for me holding the knife and using the knife. So that's something that I'm not a big fan of. This carbon fiber is very smooth. There's no sort of texture milled into this or anything, so it's very easy to slide right off of, and it's actually kind of hard to get this out of the pocket. I was wearing almost like a jean type of pant, and it was actually pretty hard to pull this out of my pocket. I had to put my hand under the pocket clip from the outside and pull up that way. I was unable to just kind of pinch it and pull out, which is a way that I like to kind of grab the knife like this in the pocket and pull it out, but not really an option with this carbon fiber. So that's something to keep in mind. Something else I'd love to see is some new handle options. They've been running this knife for quite some time now. I want to say the Skaha 2's production started in 2018, and they have had carbon fiber and a bunch of different colors in G10. But knowing that they have the ability to work with carbon fiber, I'd love to see handle materials like micarta and some different options offered that way. And they could even adventure into doing something with aluminum or titanium, just to give someone else, a little bit of something new to this particular knife. Another thing that I'm not a big fan of is the wait list that they have for these currently right now. It's just a father and son working on these, so I understand two people don't have the means to produce thousands of these a year. But that being said, if you go sign up to their wait list right now, you're looking at a 1.5 to 2 year wait just to get the opportunity to buy one of these. And as I mentioned, the G10 is $199.20 US. I think it's an extra $100 to do carbon fiber handles. So keep that in mind, whether you want this to be a $300 knife or a $200 knife, if you're willing to wait that long. If not, you're going to be looking at a $30 or $35 price increase for G10 models on the secondary market. This knife, though, is definitely highlighted by its action and its cutting capabilities. A nice thin blade, good reliable action, and just closes super smooth. That's what keeps this being a fantastic knife. You can't deny it once it's in the hand that it cuts well. Whether you're a fan of the price, the design, whatever it might be, it is really smooth and it slices like a dream. Very minimal hot spots, a little bit from this clip if you choke up this flipper tab, if you choke up too much. But once you kind of find the place that your hand sits, which for me is right about here, or right a little lower with the lanyard hole, and it's pretty comfortable to use. So overall, if you want to pick these up, I personally wouldn't wait the 18 months to save $30. If you really want one, try to find one on the secondary market. The increase is not all that much. For you, if you don't want to wait, $30 really isn't that much of an extra price to pay. And if you're going to get one of these, get a G10 model, just because of how slick this carbon fiber is. I know it looks good. Just for me, it's not worth the extra price increase for the carbon fiber. So that's going to be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry that this knife didn't do more for me, but it's a knife that a lot of people want and a lot of people are after. And if it's something you really want to check out, I highly suggest you get the opportunity to at least experience it, because me getting to handle this has convinced me not to buy one. Whereas I would have jumped on the opportunity as soon as my name came up on that wait list. So if you get a chance, check one out. If a buddy has one, flip it a couple times. I had a feeling about this right away, and I think you'll be able to get that feeling too. So thanks again for watching. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.